After the hearing, my son, his wife, and their 3 lawyers managed to take everything from me. I remember every word Michael said to me that day, standing before the judge with a coldness in his eyes I'd never seen before. "You don't deserve anything, you selfish old woman." He said it in a low, calculated voice, as if he had been rehearsing the line for months. Linda, his wife, stood beside him, arms crossed, with a small smirk that made my blood run cold. The 3 lawyers shuffled their papers on the table, satisfied. They had won. I had lost everything. The house where I raised Michael, the savings from 30 years of work, the bank account I saved for my final days, everything. The judge signed the documents without looking me in the eye. I could only sit there on that hard, cold chair, feeling my life silently crumble. I walked out of that courthouse with nowhere to go. Literally, I had no place to return to. I walked for hours with my old purse slung over my shoulder, feeling each step take me further from the woman I once was. Emily Hayes, 62 years old, widow, mother. Now, nothing. That night I slept on a park bench, not because I wanted to, because I had no other choice. And now, 6 weeks later, here I am, crouched in a corner, digging through the trash looking for empty cans to sell. My hands are shaking as I separate the aluminum from the plastic. I don't know if it's from the early morning chill or the hunger I've felt for the past 3 days. Maybe it's the shame that burns me every time someone walks by and looks away. I've been wearing these same clothes for 2 weeks. They smell like dampness, like the street, like defeat. I sleep in an abandoned doorway near the downtown square. Ironic. The same square where I used to take Michael when he was a little boy. Now I sleep 2 blocks from the house that was mine, from the house he took from me. Sometimes I wonder how I got here, how the boy I spoon-fed when he was sick became the man who left me on the street. How everything I built collapsed in a single hearing. But there's no point in asking those questions anymore. This is my reality. Me collecting cans to buy a piece of bread, me sleeping on the ground, me invisible. I put the cans in a torn bag I found days ago. It has a hole in the corner, but it works. I walk slowly toward the recycling center. My feet ache. The shoes I'm wearing are broken, and the pavement hurts with every step. But I keep going because it's the only thing I can do. Keep going. The man at the recycling center doesn't even look at me when I hand him the cans. He counts them silently, gives me a few dollars, and gestures with his hand for me to leave. He doesn't say thank you. He doesn't say anything. To him, I'm just another one, an old woman who collects trash. Nothing special, nothing important. I buy half a loaf of bread at the corner store. The woman at the counter looks at me with pity, but says nothing. She gives me the bread in a thin bag and I leave quickly. I can't stand that look, that silent compassion that makes me feel even smaller. I sit on a bench in the square, the same one where I slept the first night. I eat slowly, savoring every bite because I don't know when I'll eat again. The sun begins to set, and the square fills with people coming home from work. Families, couples, children running. They all have a place to go, everyone but me. I close my eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. The cool evening air fills my lungs. I try to remember what my life was like before, what it was like to wake up in my bed, make coffee in my kitchen, sit in my living room and watch television. But those memories hurt. They hurt because they're not mine anymore. Michael took all of that. He sleeps in my bed now. He drinks coffee in my kitchen. He lives the life that I built. And I'm here. I open my eyes when I hear footsteps approaching. A man is walking toward me. He's wearing a dark, well-pressed suit and carrying a folder under his arm. He stops in front of me and looks at me with an expression I can't quite decipher. It's not pity. It's not disgust. It's something else. Something like recognition. "Excuse me," he says, his voice firm but kind. "Are you Emily Hayes?" My heart stops for a second. No one has called me by my name in weeks. No one has looked me in the eye as if I were a real person. I look at him without answering, confused, even scared. Who is this man? What does he want from me? I nod slowly, not knowing what else to do. He takes a deep breath, as if preparing to say something important. He opens the folder under his arm and pulls out a white sealed envelope. He hands it to me carefully. "Mrs. Hayes, my name is Daniel Wallace. I'm an attorney. I've been looking for you for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. He looks at me intently, and then he says something that makes my entire body freeze. Your brother passed away 2 months ago, and he left you something. A mansion valued at $3 million and a cash inheritance of $20 million. The world stops. I can't breathe. I can't think. $20 million. A mansion. My brother. The brother I hadn't spoken to in over 15 years. The brother who left and never came back. But there's a condition. The lawyer continues, his voice growing more serious. A very specific condition you must meet to receive the inheritance. And believe me, Mrs. Hayes, when I tell you that this condition is going to change everything. My hands tremble as I take the envelope. I open it slowly with fear, with hope, with something I haven't felt in a very long time. Something like life. I pull out the letter inside. The handwriting is my brother's. I recognize it immediately. And as I begin to read, I feel something inside me, something I thought was dead, begin to awaken. That day was when everything started to change. Before it all fell apart, I had a simple life. Nothing fancy, nothing extraordinary, but it was mine. I had my house, my routine, my small moments of peace. I would wake up every morning at 6, make coffee in the kitchen I knew by heart, and open the curtains to let the light in. That house wasn't big, but I had paid for it with my own work, with years of effort and sacrifice. I lived there for 35 years, first with my husband David until a heart attack took him when Michael was just 8 years old. After that, I was alone with my son, raising him, giving him everything I could. I worked as a secretary in an accounting office for 25 years. I didn't earn much, but it was enough. It was always enough because I knew how to manage. I knew how to make every dollar count. Michael grew up in that house. It's where he learned to walk, where he celebrated every birthday, where he studied for his exams. I watched him grow with pride. He was a good kid, responsible, loving, or so I thought. Maybe I only saw what I wanted to see. Maybe a mother is always blind when it comes to her son. When Michael turned 30, he met Linda. She showed up at the house one day holding my son's hand with a perfect smile and expensive clothes. Too expensive for someone who claimed to work in a clothing store. She told me she was a manager, but something in her eyes made me doubt. There was a coldness there, an ambition I couldn't name. At first I tried to be kind. I tried to accept her. Michael seemed happy, and that's what mattered, right? But Linda started changing things. Small things at first. Comments, suggestions. Emily, don't you think this house is too old for you to be in all alone? Emily, Michael is worried about your finances. Maybe you should let him help you. Emily, at your age, you should be resting, not working so hard. I didn't understand what she was getting at. I thought she cared about me. How naive I was. A year after they met, they got married. It was a small wedding in a rented hall. I paid for half of it. Michael asked me with that look I knew from his childhood, the one that melted my heart. Mom, just this once. I promise I'll pay you back. He never did, but at that moment I didn't care. It was my son's wedding, my only son. After the wedding, everything changed faster. Linda convinced Michael they needed their own place. I agreed. It was natural. Newlyweds need their space. But then the visits started, the serious conversations, the proposals. Mom, Linda and I have been thinking. This house is too big for you. It has 3 bedrooms and you only use 1. Wouldn't it be better to sell it and move into a smaller apartment, something easier to maintain? I refused. That house was mine. It was all I had left of the life I built with David. It was the place where my memories grew. I wasn't going to sell it. So they started with another strategy. More subtle, more dangerous. Mom, at your age, you should have your papers in order. What would happen if you got sick, if you had an accident? You should give me power of attorney, just to protect you, to make sure everything is okay. He said it with so much concern, with such supposed tenderness, that I almost believed him. Almost. But something inside me hesitated. Something told me not to sign anything. So I said I'd think about it, that I needed time. That annoyed them. I saw it on Linda's face. That mask of kindness cracked for a second, and I saw what was underneath. Anger, impatience, pure ambition. But they didn't give up. They kept insisting, week after week, visit after visit. Until one day, Michael arrived with 3 men in suits. He said they were lawyers, that they were here to help me organize my finances, to protect my assets. "It's just a formality, Mom. We need you to sign some papers. It's for your own good." I was tired, so tired of fighting, so tired of feeling alone, so tired of being seen as an obstacle. So I signed. I signed without reading carefully. I signed trusting my son. I signed believing he would never hurt me. What a mistake. What a terrible mistake. 2 months later, I received a court summons. I didn't understand what it meant. I called Michael confused, scared. He told me not to worry, that he would take care of everything, that I just had to go to the hearing and everything would be fine. But nothing was fine. The day of the hearing, I arrived alone. Michael was there, but not by my side. He was on the other side of the room with Linda with the 3 lawyers. They looked at me as if I were a stranger, as if I were the enemy. The judge read the documents. He spoke of mental incompetence, of inability to manage my own finances, of clauses I had supposedly agreed to, clauses that transferred everything to Michael, my house, my savings, everything. I tried to speak. I tried to explain that I hadn't understood what I was signing, that they had tricked me, but my voice sounded weak, broken, and no one listened. No one believed me. The judge delivered the verdict. Everything was transferred to the name of Michael Hayes. I had 2 weeks to vacate the house, 2 weeks to disappear from my own life. I looked at my son, searching for something, some trace of the boy I raised, some sign of regret, of doubt, of humanity. But all I found was that cold, empty stare, and then he said it, quietly but clearly. "You don't deserve anything, you selfish old woman." Linda smiled, the lawyers closed their briefcases, and I just sat there feeling my world shatter into pieces. I left that courthouse with no direction. I walked for hours, not knowing where to go, having nowhere to go. I called a few friends, acquaintances. But everyone had excuses. Everyone was busy. Everyone disappeared when I needed them most. That night I slept on a bench, and the next, until I stopped counting the days, until the street became my only home. Now 6 weeks later, I'm holding this letter in my trembling hands. The letter from my brother, the brother who left 15 years ago after a fight we never resolved. The brother who built a fortune while I struggled to survive. The brother who apparently never forgot me. And as I read his words written in his own hand, I feel something I haven't felt in a long time. Something like hope. Something like justice. Maybe this isn't over. The letter trembles in my hands. I can't stop looking at my brother's handwriting. That slanted, firm script I would recognize anywhere. It's been 15 years since we last spoke. 15 years since that absurd fight that tore us apart forever. Or so I thought. The lawyer, Daniel Wallace, sits beside me on the bench. He says nothing for a moment, just watches me as I read. The first line of the letter hits me like a punch to the gut. "Emily, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone, and it means they finally found you." My eyes fill with tears. I can't help it. My brother is dead. Mark, my younger brother. The boy I looked after when our parents worked late. The rebellious teenager who left home at 18. The man who made a fortune in real estate and never looked back. I keep reading. Every word is a blow. Every sentence a reminder of all we lost. I know we haven't spoken in years. I know I failed you. I know when you needed me most I wasn't there. But I want you to know something, Emily. I never forgot you. Not for a single day. I followed your life from a distance. I knew when you were widowed. I knew when Michael grew up. I knew when you worked yourself to exhaustion to give that boy everything. And I also knew when that same boy betrayed you. I can't breathe. How did he know? How did he know what Michael did to me? I hired investigators 6 months ago, the letter continues. When I found out I was sick, when I knew I didn't have much time left, I needed to make sure you were okay. What I discovered enraged me. It broke my heart. My nephew, the son you raised alone, was planning to strip you of everything, and I couldn't do anything to stop him in time. Forgive me for that, sister. Forgive me for not acting sooner." The tears fall onto the paper. I don't care. I keep reading. "That's why I left very specific instructions. I'm leaving you everything I have. The mansion on the outskirts of the city, $3 million in property, $20 million in cash and stocks. It's all yours, Emily, all of it. But there's a condition. A single condition you must meet to receive this inheritance." Here the letter stops. I look at the lawyer, confused. He nods and pulls another document from his folder. "The condition is here, Mrs. Hayes," he says in a serious voice. "Your brother was very clear. You can receive the full inheritance, but first you must live in the mansion for 3 months, 90 days exactly, without leaving, without giving up. And during that time you must gather documented evidence of everything your son did to you, every paper signed, every deception, every lie. Your brother wanted you to have the tools to defend yourself, to reclaim what is yours, to prove the truth." I'm silent. I can't process what I'm hearing. 3 months in a mansion, gathering evidence against Michael. For what? To confront him, to destroy him. I don't understand. I whisper. My voice sounds hoarse, broken. Why would Mark want me to do this? Why not just give me the money? Daniel looks at me with something like compassion. "Because your brother knew you, Mrs. Hayes. He knew you're not one for revenge. He knew you would forgive your son without a second thought. He knew that even after what he did, you would still protect him. That's why he set this condition, to force you to see the truth, to force you to face what happened, to give you the chance to get your dignity back." His words pierce me. He's right. I would have forgiven Michael, despite everything, despite the nights on the street, despite the hunger, despite the humiliation, because I'm his mother, and mothers forgive. They always forgive. But something inside me twists, something dark, something that has been growing during these 6 weeks of abandonment, something that feels dangerously like rage. And if I refuse, I ask, if I don't want to meet the condition, Daniel sighs, then the inheritance will be donated to charity. You will receive nothing. Your brother was very clear on that too. Either you accept the conditions or you give up everything. I look at the letter again. I look at my dirty hands, my broken nails, my clothes that reek of misery. I look at the bag of empty cans at my feet. I look at the bench where I've slept for weeks. And then I look at the lawyer. What if I find there isn't enough evidence? What if the papers were destroyed? "Your brother thought of that," Daniel replies. "He hired a team of private investigators before he died. They've already gathered copies of documents, recordings, testimonies. It's all stored in a safe inside the mansion. You just have to review everything, organize it, understand it, and then decide what to do with that information." Decide what to do. Those words echo in my head. Mark is giving me a choice, a chance, not just to get money back, not just to have a roof over my head. He's giving me the chance to get my voice back, my truth, my justice. But I'm scared, a deep fear that paralyzes me. What if I can't do it? What if seeing all that evidence breaks me completely? What if facing Michael shatters what little is left of me? I don't know if I can, I admit in a low voice. I don't know if I'm strong enough. Daniel places a hand on my shoulder. It's a kind human gesture. It's been so long since anyone touched me with kindness that I almost start to cry. "Mrs. Hayes, your brother wrote something else at the end of the letter, something you should probably read now." He hands me another sheet, the last page. I read it with blurry eyes. "Emily, if you're hesitating, if you're scared, I want you to remember something. You were the strongest person I ever knew. When Dad died, you were 16, and you took care of me like you were my mother. When Mom got sick, you worked during the day and cared for her at night without ever complaining. When your husband died, you got up and carried on for your son. That strength didn't disappear, sister. It's just asleep. It's time to wake it up, not for revenge, not for hate, but for you, because you deserve it. Because your own life is worth fighting for. It always was. I love you, Emily, And I'm sorry I never said it when I was alive. Now it's up to you to decide who you want to be. The woman who gives up, or the woman who gets up one more time. I close my eyes. I take a deep breath. The cool evening air fills my lungs. I hear the sounds of the square, children laughing, birds singing, life happening all around me, a life that I'm still a part of. Still. I open my eyes and look at Daniel. I accept, I say. My voice sounds firmer than I expected. I accept the condition. I'm going to do this. The lawyer smiles. It's a genuine relieved smile. Then let's go, Mrs. Hayes. I'll take you to your new home. Well, your temporary home. For now. He helps me up. My legs are shaky, but I steady myself. I pick up my bag of cans. Daniel gives me a strange look. You can leave that here, ma'am. No, I reply. This reminds me of where I came from, of what I survived. I'm keeping it. We walk to a black car parked nearby. It's elegant, clean, the complete opposite of me. But when Daniel opens the door, he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't look at me with disgust. He just waits for me to get in. I sit in the back seat. It's soft, comfortable. It smells like new leather. I close my eyes for a moment and feel something inside me begin to shift. It's not hope yet. Not exactly. But it's something small, something that feels like possibility. The car starts and we drive away from the square, from the bench, from the cans, from the life I've lived for 6 weeks. I look out the window and see the city pass by, the streets I roamed looking for food, the corners where I slept, the places where I was invisible. I didn't know that decision would change everything, I whisper to myself, but deep down I think I did. The car moves through streets I don't recognize. We leave the city center behind the old buildings, the cracked sidewalks where I spent the last few weeks of my life. Now the landscape changes. The houses are bigger, the lawns are greener, the gates are taller. This is another world, a world I never belonged to. Daniel drives in silence. Now and then he glances at me in the rearview mirror, as if making sure I'm still there, that I haven't disappeared. I look out the window, feeling my heart beat faster and faster. I'm nervous, scared. I don't know what to expect. After half an hour, the car turns onto a private street. There's a black iron gate with a security system. Daniel enters a code, and the gate swings open slowly. We drive in. And then I see it. The mansion. It's enormous. 3 stories of light-colored stone and huge windows. It has a front garden with water fountains and perfectly trimmed trees. The driveway is made of white cobblestones that gleam in the afternoon sun. Wide stairs lead up to the front door, a massive wooden door with carved details. I can't believe this is real. I can't believe my brother lived here. The same Mark who grew up with me in a 2-bedroom house. The same boy who shared my room because there was no other space. Now this. All of this. Welcome to your temporary home, Mrs. Hayes, Daniel says as he stops the car in front of the stairs. I get out slowly. My legs can barely hold me. I look up at the windows at the balconies. It's too much. Everything is too much. Did my brother live here alone? I ask. For the last 5 years, yes, Daniel replies. After his wife passed away, he never remarried. He had no children. This house was his sanctuary, his masterpiece, and now it's yours. We walk up the stairs together. Each step feels heavy. When we reach the door, Daniel takes out a set of keys and hands them to me. These are yours now. The front door, the study, the bedrooms, everything. I take the keys with trembling hands. They're heavy. They're real. This is real. I open the door and we step inside. The interior is even more impressive. The foyer is vast with marble floors and a curved staircase leading to the second floor. There are paintings on the walls. Crystal chandeliers hang from the ceiling. Elegant furniture. Everything is immaculate. Clean. As if someone still lives here. There's a housekeeper who comes twice a week to clean, Daniel explains. She'll continue to come during the 3 months. There's also a gardener and a cook who can come if you request it. Everything is paid for. Everything is arranged. You just have to stay here and fulfill the condition." He shows me around the house. We pass through the main living room, huge, with leather sofas and a stone fireplace. Then the kitchen, modern, with appliances that look like they're from a magazine. The dining room with a table for 12. The library filled with books from floor to ceiling. "Your brother's study is on the second floor," Daniel says as we climb the stairs. "That's where the safe is. That's where you'll find everything you need." My heart pounds harder with each step. We reach a long hallway with several doors. Daniel opens one at the end. It's a spacious study with windows overlooking the backyard. There's a dark wood desk, shelves with organized documents, and on the back wall, a built-in safe. "The combination is in this envelope," Daniel says, handing me another sealed envelope. "Inside, you'll find everything the investigators gathered. Documents, recordings, photographs, everything you need to understand what really happened, to understand how your son planned all of this." I take the envelope, but don't open it. Not yet. I'm not ready. "When do I have to start?" I ask. "Whenever you want. You have 3 full months, 90 days starting tomorrow. You can take the time you need to review everything, to process it, to decide what to do next." I nod silently. Daniel looks at me with something like concern. "Mrs. Hayes, there's something else I need to tell you." "What is it?" "Your son already knows about the inheritance." The world stops. My blood runs cold. "What?" "Michael Hayes filed a lawsuit 3 days ago trying to contest the will. He claims his uncle was mentally incapacitated when he wrote it, that he was manipulated, that the inheritance should pass to the closest living relatives, meaning to him as his nephew." I can't breathe. Of course Michael would do this. Of course he would try to take this from me too. "And can he do it?" I ask with a shaky voice. "Can he take the inheritance from me?" "No," Daniel replies firmly. "Your brother's will is ironclad. It was made with 3 lawyers present. There are medical evaluations proving Mark was completely lucid. And there are specific clauses that protect the inheritance against these types of lawsuits. But that doesn't mean your son won't try. In fact, we'll probably see him around here soon." My legs give out. I have to sit down. I sink into the desk chair and close my eyes. "I can't do this," I whisper. "I can't face him. I can't see him again." "Yes, you can," Daniel says, his voice soft but firm. "And you will. Because this time, you're not alone. This time you have resources. You have legal backing. You have the truth on your side. And you have something your son will never have." "What's that?" "Integrity." I open my eyes and look at him. He holds my gaze. "Your brother told me a lot about you before he died, Mrs. Hayes. He told me you were the most honest person he had ever known, that you never took shortcuts, that you always did the right thing, even when it cost you. That's why he trusted you. That's why he left you all this, because he knew you would use it well, that you wouldn't be corrupted, that you would remain who you are." His words hit me deep. I feel tears threatening to spill again, but I hold them back. I've cried enough. It's time to be strong. "What do I have to do now?" I ask. "Rest today. Take a bath, eat something, sleep in a real bed. Tomorrow you can start reviewing the documents. I'll be back the day after tomorrow to see how everything is going. In the meantime, here's my card. You can call me anytime if you need anything. Anything at all." He hands me his card. I take it and put it in my pocket. Daniel says goodbye with a handshake and leaves. I hear his footsteps going down the stairs. I hear the front door close. I hear the car driving away. And then I'm alone. Alone in this enormous house. Alone with my thoughts. Alone with this opportunity I'm still not sure I deserve. I get up slowly and walk around the study. I touch the books on the shelves. I look at the photographs on the walls. There's one of Mark when he was young, smiling. He looks so much like the boy I remember, and there's another of the 2 of us together when we were teenagers. I didn't remember that photo existed. We look happy, united. We were family. What happened? How did we drift so far apart? I sit at the desk again and look at the safe. It's all in there. The whole truth about what Michael did to me, all the evidence I need. I just have to open that envelope. Enter the combination, see what's inside. But I can't. Not yet. First, I need to recover. I need to feel human again. I leave the study and explore the rest of the second floor. I find several bedrooms. They're all furnished, clean, ready. I choose one at the end of the hall with large windows overlooking the garden. The bed is huge with white sheets that look like clouds. I go into the connected bathroom. It's bigger than the room where I used to sleep in my old house. There's a deep tub, a glass door shower, mirrors everywhere. I turn on the shower and let the water run. Hot steam fills the bathroom. I take off my dirty clothes, the clothes I've been wearing for weeks. I look at them on the floor and feel disgusted by what they represent, disgusted by what I lived through. I step into the shower and the hot water hits me like a blessing. I cry. I finally let myself cry. I cry for everything I lost, for everything I suffered, for all the nights on the street, for the hunger, for the loneliness, for the betrayal. I cry until there are no tears left. Then I wash. I scrub my skin until it hurts. I wash my hair 3 times. I want to remove every trace of those weeks. I want to feel clean again. I want to feel like myself again. When I get out of the shower, I find soft towels hanging on silver hooks. I wrap one around myself and look in the mirror. I barely recognize myself. I'm thinner, older. There are new wrinkles around my eyes. But there's something else too, something in my gaze. Something that wasn't there before. Determination. I go down to the kitchen wrapped in the towel. I open the refrigerator and find food. Fresh bread, cheese, fruit, ham. My stomach growls loudly. I make a huge sandwich and eat it standing right there without sitting down, almost without chewing. It's delicious. It's the best thing I've eaten in my life. Then I go upstairs again and get into bed. The sheets are soft. The mattress is firm but comfortable. I close my eyes, and for the first time in 6 weeks, I really sleep. I sleep without fear, without cold, without hunger. I sleep like a person. And when I wake up hours later with the moonlight streaming through the window, I know what I have to do. I know that tomorrow I'm going to open that safe. I'm going to see what's inside. I'm going to face the truth. Because my brother was right. It's time to wake up the strength that's sleeping inside me. It's time to fight for my life. And this time, I'm not going to lose. The next morning, I wake up with the sun streaming through the window. For a moment, I don't know where I am. I look at the high ceiling, the elegant curtains, the crystal chandelier. Then I remember the mansion, the inheritance, my brother. It's all real. I get up slowly. My body still aches, but it's a different kind of pain. It's not the pain of sleeping on the ground. It's the pain of a body that's healing. I go down to the kitchen and make coffee. The aroma fills the house, and for a moment I feel at peace. But that peace doesn't last long, because I know what I have to do today. I have to open the safe. I have to see the truth. I go up to the study with a cup of coffee in my hand. I sit at the desk and take out the envelope Daniel gave me. I open it and find a piece of paper with the combination. 6 numbers written in my brother's hand. I walk to the safe and dial the numbers. I hear a click. The door opens. Inside are folders. Lots of folders, all labeled with dates. I take out the first one and open it on the desk. They're copies of the documents I signed, the same ones they made me sign that day when the lawyers came to my house. I read slowly, and then I see it. The hidden clauses, the fine print, everything I didn't read, everything I didn't understand. There it is, in black and white. I signed over the deed to my house. I signed over access to my bank accounts. I signed my own destruction. But it wasn't my fault. The words were written confusingly. The legal terms were impossible to understand. They tricked me. They manipulated me, and I, trusting my son, fell into the trap. I open the second folder. It's photographs. Michael meeting with the lawyers months before the hearing. Michael and Linda at an expensive restaurant, celebrating. The date on the photo is 2 days after I signed the papers. They're smiling, toasting with glasses of wine, celebrating my downfall. My hands are shaking. I keep looking. There's more. Audio recordings on a small device. I plug it into the desk computer and listen. It's Michael's voice on the phone with one of the lawyers. It has to look legal. My mother can't suspect anything. I need the documents to be confusing but valid. She'll sign. She always does what I ask." The voice cuts through me. It's my son. My son planning this. My son talking about me as if I were an obstacle, as if I were a problem to be solved. There are more recordings. In one of them I hear Linda. "That old woman has too much for someone who does nothing. That house should be ours. That money should be ours. It's time she understood that her time is over." I close my eyes. I take a deep breath. The pain is physical. It's like being stabbed in the chest over and over again. I keep going through the folders. There are reports from the private investigators, details of how Michael sought out unscrupulous lawyers, how he paid for false evaluations of my supposed mental incapacity, how he bribed witnesses to say I was confused, that I forgot things that I couldn't take care of myself. It was all planned. Every detail, every step. For months, maybe years. My son studied how to destroy me, and he succeeded. I get up from the desk and walk to the window. I look at the garden, the trees, the blue sky. I need air. I need space. I need to process this. Just then I hear the doorbell ring. My heart races. I'm not expecting anyone. I walk slowly down the stairs and look through the peephole, and what I see makes my blood run cold. It's Michael. He's standing at the door with Linda by his side. Both are dressed elegantly. Both have that look of superiority I know so well. I touch the doorknob but don't open it. I'm not ready. Not now. Not after seeing everything I just saw. Michael rings the bell again, harder. "I know you're in there, Mom. Open the door. We need to talk." His voice, the voice that used to soothe me when he was a baby. The voice that asked for bedtime stories. Now it sounds cold, calculating, threatening. "I'm not opening it," I say from the other side of the door. My voice sounds firmer than I expected. "This is ridiculous." I hear Linda's voice. "That inheritance doesn't belong to you. You have no right to be here." "I have every right," I reply. "My brother left this to me. It's legal. It's mine." "Your brother was crazy," Michael says. "And so are you if you think you're going to keep this. I've already filed a lawsuit. My lawyers are going to void that will, and when they do, I'm going to kick you out of here just like I kicked you out of your house." His words hit me. But this time, I don't crumble. This time I have something he doesn't know I have. I have the truth. I have the proof. I have everything I need to destroy him. "Go away, Michael," I say calmly. "I'm not opening this door, and I'm not letting you take anything else from me, ever again." There's silence on the other side. Then I hear footsteps walking away. I hear a car start. They're gone, for now. I go back to the study. I sit at the desk and look at all the open folders, all the scattered evidence, all the documented poison, and I feel something new growing inside me. It's not hate, not exactly. It's clarity. It's understanding. It's the certainty that I have to do something. I can't stay silent. Not this time. I spend the rest of the day organizing everything. I make copies. I mark important pages. I listen to the recordings over and over until every word is burned into my memory. Every lie, every betrayal, every moment my son decided I didn't matter. By nightfall, I have everything organized into a master folder. Everything I need is here. Now I just have to decide what to do with it, how to use this information, whether to seek revenge or seek justice, whether to destroy my son or simply protect myself. I sit on the bed that night exhausted but strangely calm. I look out the window at the stars, and I think about my brother, about Mark, about how he knew exactly what I needed. Not just money, not just a house. I needed this. I needed to see the truth. I needed to understand that it wasn't my fault, that I'm not crazy, that I was the victim of something calculated and cruel, and now that I know, now that I have the proof, I have to decide who I want to be, the mother who keeps forgiving, or the woman who finally fights back, the victim who hides, or the survivor who fights. I close my eyes and whisper in the darkness, "Thank you, Mark. Thank you for not forgetting me. Thank you for giving me this chance." And for the first time in a long time, I feel something like hope, something like power, something like justice. Now it's my turn. The days pass and I immerse myself in the documents. Every morning I wake up, make coffee, and go up to the study. I read, I analyze, I take notes. Every folder I open reveals a new layer of betrayal. But it also reveals something else. It reveals who I was before all this, and who I can be again. One afternoon, while reviewing one of the last folders, I find something different. It's not legal documents or recordings. It's a small wooden box hidden at the back of the safe. I take it out carefully and open it. Inside are letters, many letters, all written by my brother Mark, all addressed to me, but never sent. I pick up the first one with trembling hands. It's dated 10 years ago, just after our last fight. The fight that separated us. I begin to read. Dear Emily, it's been 3 months since we yelled horrible things at each other. 3 months since I told you that you were controlling. Since you told me I was selfish. I've wanted to call you 1,000 times, but my pride stops me. I was always proud. You know that. But I want you to know something. I never forgot everything you did for me. When Dad died and Mom fell apart, you were 16 and you became my mother. You dropped out of school to work. You sacrificed so I could keep studying. And I never thanked you properly. Forgive me. Sister, forgive me for being a proud idiot. Tears fall on the paper. I keep reading letter after letter. There are dozens. One for each year. Sometimes 2 or 3 a year. In all of them, Mark talks about me, about his memories, about his guilt, about his love. In a letter dated 5 years ago, he writes about Michael. I hired an investigator to see how you were doing. I know it's invasive. I know I should just call you, but I'm still a coward. The investigator told me about your son, about how he treats you, about that woman he married. Emily, I'm worried. I see signs that something bad is going to happen. That boy has the look of someone who only thinks of himself, like I used to be. But worse, much worse. If I could, I would tell you to get away, to protect what's yours. But I have no right to tell you anything, not after all these years of silence. And my heart aches. Mark knew. He saw it coming, and he tried to warn me in the only way he could, by leaving me this inheritance, by leaving me these tools, by giving me the chance to defend myself when it was too late for him to intervene. There's one more letter, the last one. It's dated 2 weeks before his death. Emily, if you are reading this, it means they finally found you. It means you are in my house. It means you saw all the evidence, and it means you now know the truth. I know it hurts. I know that seeing how your own son betrayed you is the greatest pain there is. Believe me, sister, I also suffered when I saw what was happening. But you needed to see it. You needed to understand it. Because you, with that huge heart you always had, would have forgiven without looking back. You would have said that children deserve second chances. You would have shouldered the blame, as you always did. But not this time. This time I want you to see that it wasn't your fault. That you were a victim, and that you deserve justice, not revenge. Justice. There's a difference, Emily. Revenge destroys, justice restores. You decide which path to take. But whatever it is, I want you to know something. I'm proud of you. I always was. You are the strongest person I ever knew, and I am so sorry I didn't tell you this when I could look you in the eye. I love you, sister. I always loved you. Now live. Live the life you deserve, the life they took from you, the life you can get back. Your brother who never stopped thinking about you, Mark. I fold the letter carefully and put it back in the box. I cry. I cry for everything Mark and I lost, for all the years we could have had together that pride stole from us, for all the conversations we never had, for all the hugs we never shared. But I also cry with gratitude, because even in his silence my brother looked after me. Even from afar he protected me. And now from his death he is giving me the chance to get my life back. I wipe my tears and take a deep breath. Mark is right. I have to decide. Revenge or justice. Destruction or restoration. Hate or dignity. That night I can't sleep. I toss and turn in bed thinking, remembering, imagining. I see scenes in my mind. Michael as a child running towards me with open arms. Michael as a teenager embarrassed for me to pick him up from school. Michael as an adult introducing me to Linda with that fake smile. Michael at the hearing looking at me with contempt. "You don't deserve anything, you selfish old woman." Which of those Michaels is the real one, or are they all? Can one person contain so much love and so much hate, so much tenderness and so much cruelty? At 3 a.m, I get up. I go down to the study. I turn on the light and sit in front of the computer. I open a blank document and start writing. I write everything I feel, everything I discovered, everything I want to say but couldn't. The words flow like a river, page after page, until the sky starts to lighten and I realize I've been writing for hours. I read what I wrote. It's a letter to Michael. But I'm not going to send it. Not yet. First, I need something else. I need a plan. Over the next few days, I work on that plan. I talk on the phone with Daniel. I tell him what I found. I ask him about legal options. He explains that I can file a counterclaim against Michael. I can accuse him of fraud, of manipulation, of financial abuse against an elderly person. I can take him to court. I can destroy his reputation. I can make him pay for what he did. "But do you want to do that, Mrs. Hayes?" Daniel asks me in his calm voice. "Do you really want to go to legal war with your son? Because if you do, there's no going back. Once we start, this will become public. Dirty, painful." "I don't know," I admit. "I don't know yet." "Then take your time. Think it over. Because this decision will define not only your relationship with him, but also who you are. What kind of woman do you want to be after all this?" His words resonate in my head for days. What kind of woman do I want to be? The question haunts me. It wakes me up at night. It accompanies me at meals. It watches me from the mirror every morning. One afternoon while walking through the garden, I find something I hadn't seen before. In a far corner, there is a small stone bench with a plaque. I get closer and read, "For Emily, the sister who taught me the meaning of sacrifice. One day I will bring you here. One day I will tell you everything I kept silent. Your brother Mark." I sit on that bench and cry again. But this time they are not tears of sadness. They are tears of understanding. Mark built this for me, this place, this opportunity, this moment. He knew that one day I would be here, sitting on this bench, making this decision. And then I get it. I understand what I have to do. It's not about revenge. It's not about destroying Michael. It's about getting my voice back, my truth, my dignity. It's about setting boundaries, about saying enough, about showing that what they did to me was not right, and that I am worthy. I always was. I return to the study with a new clarity. I open the folders again, but this time I don't look at them with pain. I look at them with purpose. I organize everything meticulously. I prepare copies. I mark important dates. I underline key phrases. I create a complete file, professional, irrefutable. I call Daniel. "I'm ready," I tell him. "I want to do this right. I want to confront Michael, but not with screaming, not with violence. I want to do it in a way that he understands exactly what he did. I want him to see the evidence. I want him to know that I know, and then I want to give him a choice." "What kind of choice?" Daniel asks. "The choice to do the right thing, to admit what he did, to apologize. Not because I forgive him, but because it's what he should do. And if he doesn't, then yes, then we go to court. Then I let justice decide." Daniel is silent for a moment. Then he says, "That's the wisest approach I've heard in years, Mrs. Hayes. Your brother would be proud." "I hope so," I reply. "I hope I'm doing the right thing." "You are," he assures me. "You definitely are." I hang up the phone and look out the window. The sun is setting behind the trees. The garden is tinged with orange and gold. It's beautiful, and for the first time in a long time, I feel beautiful too. Not on the outside, on the inside, where it really matters. Tomorrow the next phase will begin. Tomorrow I'm going to invite Michael to a formal meeting. Here in this house, with witnesses, with lawyers, with all the cards on the table, and I'm going to show him who I really am. Not the selfish old woman he thinks I am, not the weak victim he left on the street, but Emily Hayes, the woman who survived, the woman who got up, the woman who is no longer afraid. Now it's my turn to speak, and this time the world is going to listen. The meeting is scheduled for 10 in the morning. Daniel arrived early to help me prepare everything. We set up the main dining room like a boardroom. The long wooden table is covered with folders, documents organized in perfect stacks. Every piece of evidence has its place. Every proof is marked. Everything is ready. I hired a notary public to be present. There's also another lawyer, a woman named Clara Davis, that Daniel recommended. She specializes in financial fraud and elder abuse. Her presence alone gives weight to this meeting. This is not a casual family get-together. It's a formal, official, serious proceeding. I put on a simple but elegant dress I found in the closet of one of the bedrooms. It must have belonged to Mark's wife. It fits me well. I do my hair carefully. I look in the mirror and barely recognize myself. It's only been 2 weeks since I got here, but I look like a different person. I no longer have that lost look. My shoulders are no longer slumped. I'm standing tall, firm, ready. At 10 o'clock sharp, the doorbell rings. My heart is pounding, but it's not fear. It's anticipation. Daniel opens the door. Michael enters first, followed by Linda and 2 of their lawyers. I recognize them. They're the same ones who were at the hearing, the same ones who took everything from me. Michael looks at me with a mixture of surprise and contempt. "I see you've settled in nicely in your new palace," he says sarcastically, "enjoying money that doesn't belong to you." I don't respond. I just look at him, calmly, serenely. Daniel guides them to the dining room. He points to the chairs on one side of the table. We sit on the other side. The division is clear, them against me. But this time, I'm not alone. "Thank you for coming," I say in a firm voice. "I know you've tried to contest my brother's will. I know you believe this inheritance should be yours. That's why I asked you to come, to show you something." "I don't need to see anything," Michael interrupts. "My lawyers already have everything they need to prove that will is invalid. You don't deserve any of this." "Michael," I say his name with a calmness that surprises even me. "I'm going to ask you to be quiet and listen. For once in your life, you're going to listen to what I have to say." Linda laughs. "Who do you think you are to talk to us like that? You're an old woman who was living on the street 2 weeks ago." "You're right," I respond, looking her directly in the eye. "I was living on the street because your husband left me there, but today we're going to talk about how I got to that point and who is really responsible." Daniel opens the first folder. He takes out copies of the documents I signed and places them in front of Michael. "These are the papers you had your mother sign 8 months ago. Do you recognize them?" Michael barely glances at them. "They're legal documents. She signed voluntarily." "Voluntarily?" I ask. "Is it voluntary when you lie to your mother about what she's signing, when you use confusing terms and hidden clauses, when you hire unscrupulous lawyers to draft documents designed to deceive?" "I didn't deceive anyone," Michael says, raising his voice. "You were confused. I was just trying to help you." Clara Davis. The lawyer speaks for the first time. Her voice is as cold as ice. "Mr. Hayes, we have evidence that you planned this fraud for months. Recordings of conversations with your lawyers where you discuss how to manipulate your mother. Photographs of you celebrating 2 days after she signed the papers. Financial reports showing you urgently needed money because you had gambling debts of over $200,000. Silence falls over the table like a stone. Michael turns pale. Linda stops smiling. One of his lawyers clears his throat uncomfortably. That's not true," Michael stammers. Daniel presses play on a recorder. Michael's voice fills the room. "It has to look legal. My mother can't suspect anything. I need the documents to be confusing but valid. She'll sign. She always does what I ask." Michael stands up abruptly. "Where did you get that?" "This is an invasion of privacy. It's illegal." "It's completely legal," Clara Davis replies. "Your uncle hired private investigators. Everything they gathered was obtained legally. And there's more. Much more." I take out another folder. My hand doesn't tremble. I open it and show the photographs. Michael and his lawyers in secret meetings. Michael receiving cash from a loan shark. Michael in a casino losing thousands of dollars. Linda buying designer clothes with my money. Linda at a lavish spa. Linda showing off on social media while I slept on the street. You had debts, I say, looking my son in the eye. Big debts. Dangerous debts, and you decided the solution was to steal everything I had, my house, my savings, my dignity. You left me on the street, Michael, your own mother, the woman who gave you life, who raised you alone, who worked to exhaustion so you could have everything. And you left me picking cans out of the trash. I didn't want you to end up like that, Michael says. His voice sounds different now, smaller. I thought you would go to a friend's. I thought you'd find something. You thought? I repeat, my voice breaking for the first time. You didn't think at all, Michael. You didn't care about me. You just wanted the money. And when you saw me at the hearing, when the judge gave the verdict, you looked at me like I was trash. You told me I didn't deserve anything, that I was a selfish old woman. Do you remember that? Michael doesn't answer. He looks down. His lawyers exchange nervous glances. Linda has her arms crossed, but her expression is no longer one of arrogance. It's concern. I could destroy you with this, I continue. I could file a criminal lawsuit, fraud, financial abuse against an elderly person, forgery of documents, bribery of witnesses. The charges could get you 5 to 10 years in prison, and Linda would be implicated too. You could both lose everything, your freedom, your reputation, your future. Are you going to do it? Michael asks. For the first time, I hear fear in his voice. I'm silent for a moment. I look at them, my son, his wife, the lawyers who helped them, and I think of Mark's words, revenge or justice, destruction or restoration. I don't know, I answer honestly. It depends on you. On me? Michael asks, confused. Yes, on you. I'm going to give you a choice. One single chance. You can admit what you did, publicly. You can sign a full confession. You can give me my house back. You can deposit the money you stole back into my account, and you can apologize. Not because I forgive everything. Not because we'll go back to being a happy family, but because it's the right thing to do. Because it's what you must do. And if I do that, Michael asks, then what? Then I don't press criminal charges. We settle this civilly. I get back what was mine. You go on with your life. I go on with mine. Separately, but without mutual destruction. And if I refuse? I look at him steadily. If you refuse, then these documents go to the district attorney's office tomorrow morning. And I swear to you, Michael, I will do everything in my power to make you pay for what you did to me. Not for revenge, for justice. So that no other mother has to go through what I went through because of her son. The tension in the room is palpable. One of Michael's lawyers leans in and whispers something in his ear. The other nervously reviews the copies of the documents. Linda's hands are clasped tightly on the table. How much time do I have to decide? Michael finally asks. 72 hours, Daniel replies. 3 days. After that, Mrs. Hayes will proceed as she sees fit. Michael gets up slowly. Linda and the lawyers follow him. They head for the door without another word. Before leaving, Michael turns and looks at me. There's something in his eyes I haven't seen in months. Something that looks like remorse. Or maybe it's just fear. I don't know. I can't read my son anymore. Mom, he says quietly. It's the first time he's called me that since the hearing. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it came to this. I'm sorry for everything. I don't respond. I just look at him, and then I close the door. When they're gone, I stand in the foyer. Daniel puts a hand on my shoulder. You did very well, Mrs. Hayes. You were perfect. I don't feel perfect, I admit. I feel tired. That's normal. But you should be proud. You gave your son something he never gave you. You gave him a chance. That's more than most would have done. I nod silently. I go up to my room and sit on the bed. I look out the window at the garden, the bench with Mark's plaque, the trees, the sky, and I wonder what Michael will decide, if he'll take the chance I gave him, or if he'll force me to go all the way. But whatever his decision, I've already made mine. I am no longer a victim. I am no longer the woman who accepts everything in silence. I am Emily Hayes, and I am worthy. I always was. Now all that's left is to wait. The 3 longest days of my life, 72 hours of waiting. Every minute feels like an eternity. I can't sleep well. I wake up several times each night wondering what Michael is thinking, if he's considering my offer, if his pride will be stronger than his common sense. Daniel calls me every day. "Any news?" he asks. "Not yet," I always reply. Michael's silence is deafening. I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad one. I don't know if he's gathering the courage to do the right thing or gathering more lawyers to fight. I spend hours walking in the garden. I sit on the bench Mark built for me. I read his letters over and over. I seek comfort in his words, in his silent love, in his faith in me. He believed I could do this, that I could face Michael, that I could reclaim my dignity. I hope I don't disappoint him. On the morning of the 3rd day, I wake up with a knot in my stomach. Today is the deadline. If Michael doesn't respond by 6 in the evening, Daniel will file the criminal charges tomorrow morning. There's no turning back after that. Once the legal machine starts, it won't stop. My son could go to prison. His life would be destroyed. And I would have to live with that decision for the rest of my days. Is this what I want? Am I really ready to go that far? I make coffee and sit in the kitchen. I look at the clock. 8 in the morning. 10 more hours. The phone is on the table, silent, staring at me, accusing me, asking if I have the courage. At 2 in the afternoon, the phone rings. It's Daniel. "Mrs. Hayes, an email just came in from your son's lawyer. He says Michael wants to meet with you, alone. No lawyers, just the 2 of you." My heart stops. Alone. Yes, he says he needs to talk to you, mother to son, before making a final decision. "What do you think?" I ask. Daniel hesitates for a moment. "I think it's risky, but I also think it could be good. Sometimes these things need to be resolved face to face, without intermediaries. If you feel comfortable, I could be in the house in another room, in case you need me." "Okay," I reply after a silence. "Tell him to come at 4. The next 2 hours are torture. I change my clothes 3 times. I do my hair. I look in the mirror. I practice what I'm going to say, but all the words sound empty. What do you say to a son who betrayed you? What do you say to the boy you raised who left you on the street? At 4 o'clock sharp, Michael arrives. This time he comes alone. No Linda, no lawyers, just him. He looks different, tired, haggard, as if he hasn't slept in days either. Daniel lets him in and then retreats to the study, leaving us alone in the living room. We sit on the sofas facing each other. The silence is heavy, uncomfortable. Neither of us knows how to begin. Finally, Michael speaks. "I don't know where to start, Mom." "Start with the truth," I say simply. He nods, takes a deep breath, and then it all comes out, like a river breaking a dam. "You were right about everything. The debts, the casino, the loans. I was desperate. I had lost so much money, and the loan sharks started threatening me. They told me if I didn't pay, they would hurt me, hurt Linda. I panicked, and then I thought of your house, your savings, and I thought you didn't need them as much as I did." "I lived there, Michael. It was my home." I know that now, but at that moment all I saw was a solution to my problem. I didn't think about what would happen to you. I didn't think you'd end up on the street. I really thought you'd find something, that someone would help you." "No one helped me," I say, my voice cracking. "I called everyone I knew. They all had excuses. They all disappeared. I slept on benches. I ate from the trash. I was cold. I was hungry. I was scared. And you were sleeping in my bed, in my house, with my money, feeling nothing." "I did feel something," Michael says, tears starting to stream down his face. "I felt everything, but I pushed it down. I told myself you were okay, that you were strong, that you would survive. I lied to myself so I could sleep at night. And Linda, did she feel anything?" Michael looks down. "Linda, she was the one who had the original idea. When I told her about my debts, she was the one who suggested your house, your money. She found the lawyers, she planned everything, but I let her. I agreed. I signed the papers. I lied to you. The blame is mine, Mom, not hers. Mine. Why did you say that to me at the hearing? I ask. The question that has haunted me for weeks. Why did you tell me I didn't deserve anything, that I was a selfish old woman? Michael covers his face with his hands. Because I needed to convince myself I was doing the right thing. I needed to make you the enemy to justify what I was doing to you. If I saw you as a loving mother, as the woman who raised me, I couldn't go through with it. So I turned you into something else in my mind, into someone bad, someone who deserved to suffer. It was easier that way. His words break me. Because I understand what he's saying. I understand how the mind works when we want to justify the unjustifiable, how we lie to ourselves, how we create false narratives to live with our decisions. And now, I ask, what do you think of me now? Michael looks at me. His eyes are red, swollen. Now I think you're the strongest person I know. You survived what I did to you. You got back up. You found this inheritance. You confronted me with dignity, with proof, with calm. In your place, I would have wanted to kill me. And you're giving me a chance. I don't deserve it, Mom. I don't deserve your compassion. It's not compassion, I reply. It's justice. There's a difference. Compassion forgives without consequences. Justice demands that you pay for what you did, that you repair the damage, that you acknowledge the truth. That's what I'm asking of you. And I'm going to do it, Michael says. I'm going to sign the confession. I'm going to give you back your house, your money, everything. I'm going to make a public statement admitting what I did, and then I'm going to get out of your life. Because I don't deserve to be in it. That part isn't up to you to decide, I say firmly. I will decide if I want you in my life or not. After you do what you have to do, after you meet the demands of justice, then maybe with time we can talk about forgiveness, but not now. Now I can only ask you to do the right thing. Michael nods. When do you want me to sign the papers? Tomorrow, at 10 in the morning, here, with the notary present, with Daniel and Clara Davis, all formal, all documented. And then you're going to go to a bank with me and transfer the money you stole from me. Every single cent. I'll do it. I promise, Mom. This time I won't let you down. He gets up to leave. He walks to the door. Before he leaves, he turns one last time. Mom. Yes. Do you think you could ever forgive me? I'm silent for a long moment. I think about everything that happened. The nights on the street, the hunger, the humiliation, the pain. But I also think about the boy he was, the good times we had, the son he could have been and chose not to be. I don't know Michael. Honestly, I don't know. But I can tell you this. If you keep your word, if you do the right thing, if you prove with actions, not just words, that you've changed, then maybe, just maybe. But it's going to take time. A lot of time. He nods. I understand. Thank you, Mom, for giving me even a chance. And he leaves. I'm left alone in the living room. Daniel comes out of the study. How do you feel? He asks. I don't know. I admit. Exhausted, sad, relieved, all at the same time. It's normal. You've just done something extraordinary. You gave your son consequences, but also grace. That takes more strength than most people have. That night, I sleep better than I have in weeks, because I know I did the right thing. It wasn't easy, it wasn't perfect, but it was just. And that's enough for now. The next morning, Michael arrives on time. He signs all the documents, the full confession, the property transfer for my house, the financial agreements, everything. Clara Davis reviews it all meticulously. The notary certifies every signature. It's official. It's real. I have recovered what was mine. Afterward, we go to the bank. Michael makes the transfers. $350,000. All my money, back in my account. I see the numbers on the screen and I can hardly believe it. It's real. It really happened. I won. But it doesn't feel like a victory. It feels like closure, like the end of a terrible chapter, and the beginning of something new, something I don't fully understand yet, but feel growing inside me. When we finish at the bank, Michael says goodbye. I'm going to get help, Mom. Therapy, Gamblers Anonymous meetings. I'm going to work on myself. And someday, when I'm ready, if you're ready, I'd like to try to rebuild something. Not like before. Something new. Something honest. I wish you the best, Michael, I say sincerely. I really do. But I need time. I need to heal. I need to find myself again. I understand. Goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, son. And he leaves. And I stand there on the sidewalk feeling the sun on my face, feeling the weight lifting from my shoulders, feeling for the first time in a long time that I'm going to be okay, that I am strong, that I survived, and that now finally I can start to live again. 6 months have passed since that day at the bank. 6 months since Michael signed the documents and returned what was mine. 6 months since I regained not just my house and my money, but something much more valuable, my dignity, my voice, my life. I decided not to live in my old house again. It has too many memories, too many shadows. Instead, I rented it to a young family with 2 children. They take good care of it. They fill it with laughter, with new life, and I stayed here in Mark's mansion. At first, I thought it would be temporary, that after the 3 months I would move to a small apartment. But this place has become my home. I feel my brother here, in every corner, in every detail. It's as if I've finally come back to him after all those lost years. I made some changes. I turned one of the rooms into an art studio. I always loved to paint when I was young, but I gave it up when I got married, when I had responsibilities. Now I paint every day, landscapes, portraits, colors that express everything I couldn't say for years. It's therapeutic, it's liberating, it's mine. I also started a project, something that keeps me up at night in the best way. With part of Mark's inheritance, I created a foundation. It's called New Beginnings. It's for older women who have been victims of financial abuse or family abandonment. I give them temporary shelter-free legal advice, emotional support. I help them get back what they lost, to find their strength, to rise up as I did. The first woman who came was named Velma. She was 70 years old, and her daughter had left her in a horrible nursing home after selling her house. When I met her, I saw my own reflection. I saw the pain, the confusion, the shame of having trusted the wrong person. Now Velma lives in a nice apartment that the foundation helped her get. She recovered her money with the help of our lawyers, and she's happy, genuinely happy. There are others. Maria, whose son manipulated her into signing documents. Linda, who was deceived by her son-in-law, each with her own story, each with her own scars, but all surviving, all fighting, all remembering that they are worthy. Sometimes I wonder what Mark would think of all this. I think he would be proud. I think that's why he left me this fortune, not just for me to live well, but so I could help others, so I could turn my pain into purpose, my tragedy into transformation. Michael and I haven't spoken much. He sends me a message every month. He tells me how his therapy is going. He says he's been 6 months without gambling, that he's working a regular job, earning his own money, that he and Linda separated. She couldn't handle a life without luxuries, without easy money, without shortcuts. She left. And maybe that was the best thing for him. I don't know if we'll ever have a close relationship again. Part of me wants to try, the part that is still his mother. But another part knows that some things break in ways that can't be fully repaired. They can only be rebuilt. And that takes time, patience, and the will from both sides. For now I'm at peace with the distance, with the space, with letting him make his way while I make mine. Yesterday I received something unexpected, a letter. It arrived by certified mail. When I opened it, I saw it was from a law firm I didn't know. I sat on the garden bench, the one Mark built for me, and began to read. The letter said that Mark had left final instructions, a secret clause in his will that was only to be revealed 6 months after I took possession of the inheritance. If in those 6 months I had fulfilled the original condition, if I had used the evidence wisely, if I had found justice without destruction, then there was something more, something he wanted me to have. Attached to the letter was a sealed envelope. I opened it with trembling hands. Inside was a key and a note in Mark's handwriting. Emily, if you are reading this, it means you did the right thing. It means you faced your pain with dignity, that you sought justice, not revenge. I'm proud of you, sister. I always was. This key is for a safe deposit box at the central bank. The number is on the back. There you will find one last surprise, something I saved for you all these years, something that proves I never stopped loving you. I never stopped looking out for you, even when we weren't speaking. Enjoy it, use it well, and always remember that you are worthy, that you are strong, that you survived, and that your story doesn't end here. It's just beginning. With eternal love, your brother Mark. I cry as I read. Tears of gratitude, of love, of loss, but also of hope. Mark thought of everything, even this, giving me something more. Not because I need more money, but because I needed to know that someone thought of me, that someone looked after me, that someone believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. Tomorrow I will go to the bank. I will open that safe deposit box. I will see what Mark left me, but I already know it doesn't matter what it is. What matters is the gesture, the love, the connection that never really broke. It was just silenced for a while. I get up from the bench and walk through the garden. The trees sway in the wind. The birds sing. The sun is setting, tinging everything with gold. It's beautiful, and I'm here to see it, to feel it, to live it. I think of the woman I was 6 months ago. The woman on the street, collecting cans, feeling invisible, feeling defeated. And I think of the woman I am now, standing in this garden, the owner of my life, helping others, painting, creating, living. It wasn't easy to get here. There were moments when I wanted to give up, moments when the pain was too much, but I kept going, one step at a time, one day at a time. And here I am. I go into the house and up to the study. I look at the folders still stored in the closet, all the evidence, the whole story of my fall and my resurrection. Someday I'll write a book about this. I'll share my story, so that other women know they are not alone, that they can survive, that they can win, not with shouting, not with violence, but with truth, with dignity, with justice. I sit by the window and watch the stars begin to appear in the sky, and I ask myself the question I ask myself every night. Would I have had the courage to do this without Mark's inheritance, without the documents, without the legal backing? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But what I do know is that the world gave me more than money. It gave me a chance. It gave me tools. It gave me the possibility to fight when everyone thought I was finished. And I took that chance. I took it with both hands. And I didn't let go. Now my story is different. I'm not the victim. I'm the survivor, the fighter, the woman who got up after hitting rock bottom, the woman who got her life back, the woman who helps others get theirs back. And this doesn't end here. It's just beginning. There are more women to help, more stories to change, more lives to touch. And I'm ready, more ready than ever. I stand up and walk to the mirror in the study. I look at myself. I really look. And for the first time in a long time, I like what I see. Not for the physical, but for what's behind the eyes. Strength, purpose, life. I smile. It's a genuine, real smile. And then I ask myself the final question, the question I ask anyone who reads my story, the question Mark asked me in his letter months ago. Would you have the courage to do what I did? Would you have the courage to face the one who hurt you, to seek justice without destruction, to get up after hitting rock bottom, to forgive without forgetting, to rebuild your life when all seems lost? I hope so. I hope that if you ever find yourself in the darkness, you remember my story. Remember that it's possible to get out, that it's possible to win, that you are worthy, you always were, and that it is never, ever too late to reclaim your life. It's never too late to be who you really are. It's never too late to start over.